Rick Harrison, whose face millions of people around the world recognize, used to be known as a trustworthy and intelligent character on the hit TV show Pawn Stars, where he shared his knowledge of historical artifacts. Rick changed into more than just a speaker over time. He stood for a mix of deep understanding and charm in talking to people. His image, however, has been broken. People are shocked by the new video, which was made after he finished a long prison term. It makes them wonder, what happened to the man they used to trust? It's quiet in Rick's prison cell, and his empty eyes show that he is alone, and that his life has lost all of its human ideals. The video that was leaked shows more than just a man spending his time. There is a huge difference between this version of Rick Harrison and the one people used to know. In the video, he is by himself and has lost everything that used to give him meaning. But does this movie really show what his life is like, or could it be the tip of a bigger plot? A strategy that goes beyond the law and is full of hidden meanings and goals that haven't been made public. What really happened to Rick Harrison? From the bright lights of the Pawn Stars set to the darkness of his jail cell, from being admired to being blamed. What has happened? What is really going on with these pictures that everyone is so interested in? Let's look into this mystery in the movie Blow. Leave a comment with the number 1 if you're interested in this story and want to know more. Make a note with the number 0 if not. Don't forget to like the video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the station so you don't miss any more fun videos. Now let's look into the shocking truth about how Rick Harrison lost his job. Starting in the early 2010s, Rick Harrison became a sign of trust. Pawn Stars wasn't just the name of a reality TV show. It also stood for a time when people could watch antiques and dramatic talks and feel like they were living in the past. Rick was the most important person on the show because he was the host. The best things about Pawn Stars weren't the crazy plots or standard reality TV antics, but how simple, real, and educational it was. It seemed like Rick Harrison was a smart, honest, and funny man, so every show made people feel like they were learning something new. Every time Rick sold something, whether it was a story from World War II, an ancient Roman coin, or a map worth tens of thousands of dollars, he brought history to life. In the eyes of the public, Rick Harrison was the right mix of a smart businessman and an honest historian. Someone who could look at the past with both a business sense and a deep understanding of how valuable it was. But in the end, this one-of-a-kind mix would be what brought him down. Rick's business company grew as his fame did. Rick's store quickly grew from a small pawn shop in Las Vegas to a popular tourist spot where hundreds of people come just to see him. Experts raised an eyebrow and asked how a pawn shop could have artifacts that belong in museums or national collections. The items on show were no longer common items, but rare and valuable ones. After that, the darkness spread. There were sketchy financial records, shell companies, tax havens, broken deals, and artifacts that didn't have any proof of where they came from. With each new piece of the puzzle, a disturbing story about the choice between making money and doing the right thing came to light. Rick wasn't just thought to be an appraiser, he was also thought to have changed events to benefit himself. Suspicion quickly turned into a full-on investigation, which led to an arrest and conviction. There is a big government case, with hundreds of pieces of evidence, dozens of witnesses, and a lot of questions that haven't been answered. Did Rick really not know where the items came from? Or did he refuse to look into them to help himself? These tough questions were asked by prosecutor Pam Bondi. Rick had spent more than a decade carefully putting together the mask, which he was now slowly taking apart. The movie said more than words ever could. Even though it was shaky and grainy, it was a silent sign of how far he had fallen from favor. As soon as the video clip came out, the word Rick Harrison prison footage shot to the top of Google search results across North America. It wasn't just Rick's thin look that worried people, it was also how he was being treated in jail. Details from thorough reports, written by former employees and insiders, started to get out, which made the picture clearer. A former guard said that Rick was being held in a medium-security solitary confinement room, which is for criminals who are seen as weak or who have very serious convictions. This is supposed to be a safety step, right? But in fact, it's just being alone. There were no friends, conversations, or other people around. There were only cold gray walls and the eerie sound of footsteps in empty halls. According to a person who did not want to be named, this is not protection. This is a form of long-term punishment for the mind. There is more than just physical separation. It wears away at the mind, making the silence and the weight of one's own ideas stronger. It was no longer exciting for someone like Rick to be in the spotlight. The anger and respect of his fans had gone away. He is no longer called a TV star. There are no requests for pictures or notes. He is just a name and a number in jail. Or, even worse, he is a sign of betrayal against the cultural values he used to stand for. Investigative reporters also found statements from some of Rick's fellow prisoners. One prisoner who got out 3 months ago said that Rick was often shunned, especially by people who had been in the military or who were from minority groups that he used to have strong cultural ties with. Many times at a customer's house who was walking along the street next to someone, many of these prisoners were very angry about the crimes he was found guilty of, especially the selling of holy and historical items. It wasn't just gain to them, it was a holy sin. A former prisoner talked about what was so interesting about the leaked film. In the video, Rick wasn't attacked or hurt directly. Instead, he was treated with disrespect through looks, words, and the guard's lack of interest. This made me feel strangely sorry for him. A lot of experts say that the video shows a more advanced way to punish criminals, where they aren't hurt physically, but are slowly ripped away from their identity and social life. This could be the worst sentence ever for someone like Rick, who was once very famous. Not pain in his body, but the slow loss of everything that made him who he was. So why did this video clip shock so many people so much? In the next part, we'll look more closely at the lives of famous people who were in jail, looking at how they went from being popular to being alone. Rick Harrison used to be a regular on weekend TV. With his deep voice, firm attitude, and wise personality, along with his friendly demeanor, he was the perfect example of an honest, clever, and successful American man. Millions of people watched Pawn Stars and trusted Rick as the final word in any deal. He was also the voice of reason in the family. He raised the family, taught others, and showed them how important history is. Now, though, that picture has been changed to something much darker. What does this change mean, and why does it cause such strong reactions? Let's look around. The leaked tape, on the other hand, shows Rick in a very different light. Having lost his fame, he is now a man who lives alone and feels disconnected from himself. He has changed not only because he is in jail, but also because of how people see him behind bars. The respect he used to get has now turned into the reason he is alone. The video shows that Rick is purposely avoiding interacting with the people around him. He avoids making eye contact and doesn't contribute to talks. He always keeps his distance. This could be a defensive reaction, but it also shows that he is very aware of how drastically people around him see him now. Once respected and feared, the man now seems to be well aware of his fall from power. Rick has been given a new place in the prison's hierarchy. This is because unwritten rules are often more important than written rules in prison. It's not that of a feared drug lord, as many people might think. Instead, it's that of a culture criminal, which is a label that is deeply looked down upon and rejected. One of the main reasons Rick is alone is because of the crime he was found guilty of. He is involved in selling religious and historical items, which is a problem for more than just the law. It's against the law